Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In video 15, I said that there are books in which all past and future events of the world are recorded. God says that He writes everything in the tablets. The Quran says that in the clear book, al-Kitāb Mubīn, everything exists, and that every individual and every community has a book that is copied from the clear book, and all events of their lives and the time of their death, ajal, are recorded in it. What do these concepts mean? I'm Hassan Muradi, and in this video from the channel Echoes of the Quran, I want to answer these questions. In previous videos, I said that God creates everything by saying be, kun, fayakun. The Quran expresses this act of creation in another way as well. God has a pen and an ink in an existential sense with which He writes whatever things or events He wills upon the existential tablets and brings it into being. God swears in the Quran by Nun, the pen, and what they inscribe. Nun wal qalam wa ma yasturun. Al-Qalam, verses 1, 2 and 3. If we take Nun to mean ink, then meaning of N in this verse is God's knowledge at a level where all existential words and sentences exist in an undetermined and unspecified form. This type of knowledge must be understood as God's knowledge at the level of His essence. The pen must be the agent that brings down and details that prior knowledge, because it is an instrument that brings a specific amount of ink into a specific form upon the tablet. The tablet is the detailed level of God's knowledge, where words and lines appear with a particular order and separations. For this reason, it is also called an open and separate out page. وَالطُّورِ وَكِتَابٍ مَسْطُورٍ فِي رَقٍّ مَنْشُورٍ. Separate page. Tur, verses 1 to 3. To understand the symbolic meaning of ink, pen, and tablet, consider the example of the human mind and its level. These levels begin with attention to a meaning such as the meaning of shape at the intellectual level, and continue until that meaning appears as a square with a specific size in the imaginative faculty, and even appears as a square drawn on a sheet of paper in the physical world. We have a reservoir of meaning from which we can attend to one. This is like the ink. We can bring the meaning down until it becomes shaped and determined. This is like writing on the tablet and creating the clear book. This shape can then appear in the temporal and spatial world. This is like copying from the clear book. God also has such a reservoir of meaning. Everything that is created has its root in these treasuries. These treasuries descend in a specific and known measure and being appear. وَإِن مِّن شَيْءٍ إِلَّا عِندَنَا خَزَائِنُهُ وَمَا نُنَزِّلُهُ إِلَّا بِقَدَرٍ مَعْلُومٍ. Al-Hajj 21. The hypocritical human being has no deep understanding of these treasuries. Therefore, his behavior in this world is not aligned with his real book and treasuries in the hereafter. وَلِلَّهِ خَزَائِنُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلَكِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ. Munafiqeen 7. The believer looks at his inner book and acts according to it, but the hypocrite acts contrary to his inner book because he does not understand it well and does not know that if he acts against his inner book, he will suffer greatly in the hereafter when he confronts it. No being other than God has knowledge of these treasuries, even if that being is a prophet. قل لا أقول لكم عندي خزائن الله ولا أعلم الغيب. Al-An'am 15 and Hud 31. These treasuries, which the Quran calls this unseen ghaib, have keys that only God knows. وعنده مفاتيح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا هو. Al-An'am 59. Perhaps the noon in Surah Al-Ghalam verses 1, noon by the pen, and what they inscribe refers to these treasuries, mafatih al-ghaib, or khazā'in. After the level of unseen or treasuries, we reach the mother of the book, Umm al Kitāb. According to the Quran, the clear book which contains everything is within the mother of the book, Umm al Kitāb. That is, in rank, Kitāb Mubīn is lower and more detailed than the mother of the book. The clear book has two levels: an existential level that includes all beings, and a verbal or written level, parts of which descends as revealed scriptures to specific humans, prophets. For example, the Quran in Arabic is a level of existential clear book that has descended into the form of Arabic scriptures. The clear book itself is within the mother of the book, and the mother of the book is with God and has a higher and wiser rank. وَالْكِتَابِ الْمُبِينِ إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ وَإِنَّهُ فِي أُمِّ الْكِتَابِ لَدَيْنَا لَعَلِيٌّ حَكِيمٌ. Zukhruf verses 2 until 4. The phrase with us, لَدَيْنَا, implies two things. Number one, this book is extremely close to God. Number two, others besides God also have access to it. The phrase we made it, جَعَلْنَاهُ, shows the relationship between the Quran and existential clear book. The Quran is the verbal level of the clear book. Therefore, through understanding of the Quran is impossible without understanding the existential clear book, just as understanding a map is impossible without understanding the region it represents. In another verse, the phrase with him in the who is used for the mother of the book. The Quran says that while the mother of the book is with him in the who, at lower levels things are raised or affirmed, mahv and isbat. This contrast shows that in the mother of the book there is no change. يَمْهُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيُثْبِتُ وَعِنْدَهُ أُمُّ الْكِتَابِ. Rad 39. The verse does not say with us, indana, but with him, in the who, indicating that there are levels above the mother of the book that are inaccessible to others. قال علمها عند ربي في كتاب لا يضل ربي ولا ينسى. Taha 52. This verse also states that only God has knowledge of this book. It does not change because God neither errs nor forgets. For this reason, it is called the preserved tablet, Lawhul Mahfuz, or the hidden book, Kitāb Maknūn, Kitābun Maknūn. بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ. Al-Buruj 21 and 22. إنه لقرآن كريم في كتاب مكنون. Al-Waqi'ah 77-78. In general, whatever is with him in the Allah or in the who is permanent and fixed, while everything else is transient. وَمَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ, transient. وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاغٍ, permanent. Nahl 96. After the level of the treasuries and the mother of the book, we reach the clear book. The Quran says that everything on land and sea is in it, and that God, through this book, knows when a leaf falls or when a seed is in the darkness of the earth. Al-An'am 59. This shows that the clear book is different from the keys of the unseen, mafatihul ghaib, which are only with God. The clear book is accessible to others. The word Mubīn, clear, indicates that this book contains explanation and detail, whereas the mother of the book contains concealment and summary. To understand the difference between summary and detail, consider the difference between the ability to speak and the act of speaking. The clear book contains information about all beings in the heavens and earth and their actions. For example, God says He is witness to all human actions at the moment they occur, and that nothing escapes Him. Yunus 61. The phrase "we are witnesses over you" shows that the clear book has an existential superiority over all beings and their inner and outer actions, like our superiority over the beings in our imagination. Also, the simultaneity of actions and God's knowledge of them shows that the clear book does not precede worldly events in time. It is not like a script written in the past that later becomes a film. Rather, just as we know the intention of an imagined being before it acts and are aware of its actions as it occurs, God's knowledge is identical with the existence of things. In another verse, the Quran responds to disbelievers who deny the hour by saying that the knower of unseen, alimul ghaib, will come to them, لَتَأْتِيَنَّهُمْ, and that nothing escapes Him, and that everything is in the clear book. Sabah 3. This means that in the resurrection, every person and his book will confront the original version in the clear book. If his actions match the original, he is a believer and destined for paradise. If not, he is a hypocrite and destined for hell. God knows what hearts conceal and what they reveal. Nothing hidden in the heavens or earth exists except in the clear book. Nahl 75. It is clear that His clear book is an existential book, not something made of Arabic words. God is responsible for the sustenance of every creature and knows its place of dwelling and resting, because everything is recorded in the clear book. كُلٌّ فِي كِتَابٍ مُبِينٍ. Hud 6. God says He sent down the clear book on a blessed night, and that in it every wise matter is distinguished. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةٍ مُبَارَكَةٍ فيها يفرغ كل أمر حكيم. Dukhan verses 2 and 3 and 4. He also says He sent it down on the night of decree, when the angels and the Spirit descend with every matter. إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ ليلة القدر خير من ألف شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. سورة القدر. The descent of the book means the descent of a level of God's knowledge to a lower level. The farther we move from God, the darker it becomes. This is why the hereafter, returning to God, is called the day. Another important point is that the book and the pen that bring it down are of the same kind as the angels and the Spirit. Another concept similar to the clear book is the clear Imam, Imamul Mubīn. God says He has enumerated everything in it. وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. Yasin 12. Using Imam instead of the book shows that someone who reaches the rank of Imamat must have knowledge at the level of the clear book. Using Imam instead of book shows that someone who reaches the rank of Imamat must have knowledge at the level of the clear book. In the Quran, Imam is not a social rank given by people, but an existential and epistemic rank. It is attained not by study, but by purification of the heart by God. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس. Ahzab 33. Only the purified can touch this existential book. لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. واقعة 79. Another verse expresses the same idea of enumeration in the clear Imam using the word book. وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ كِتَابًا. Naba 29. Another verse says that God has encompassed what is with the messengers and has enumerated everything in number. وَأَحَاطَ بِمَا لَدَيْهِمْ وَأَحْصَى كُلَّ شَيْءٍ عَدَدًا. Jinn 28. Thus, enumeration does not mean counting, but the appearance of things according to his higher knowledge. If enumeration meant counting, God's infinite knowledge would become finite and change moment by moment. When God says He has enumerated everything in the clear Imam or the book, it means the contents of the clear book have fully descended from the mother of the book and correspond to it. Because God is infinite, this tablet and this writing are also infinite and beyond time and space. The Quran says all the heavens and the earth belong to Him and He is self-sufficient and praiseworthy. Luqman 26. If all trees on the earth were pens and the sea with 7 more seas added to it were linked, God's words would not be exhausted. مَا نَفِدَتْ كَلِمَاتُ اللَّهِ. Luqman 27. Thus God's writing is like His speech. It is creation. For example, the Quran calls Jesus a word from God. Al Imran 39. God, who is infinite, brings realities into existence by His words. No one can change these words. وَلَا مُبَدِّلَ لِكَلِمَاتِ اللَّهِ. Al-An'am 34. لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِكَلِمَاتِ اللَّهِ. Yunus 64. The reason is that God's words is lofty while the word of disbelievers is low. وَكَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. Tawbah 40. In summary, existential writing must have the same structure as existential speech. Both are manifestations of God's knowledge. Writing is the descent of meanings from higher levels of divine knowledge into lower forms. Just as we manifest hidden meanings through speech or writing, divine speech and writing manifest meanings from God's essence into lower realms. The difference between reading and writing lies in the presence or absence of an intermediary such as the pen and tablet. The presence of an intermediary indicates descent and distance from God. Therefore, the rank of Moses as one spoken to directly by God, Kalimullah, is higher than receiving tablets, al-alwah. Direct divine speech is higher than speech through a veil, and that is higher than speech through a messenger. Shura 51. Earlier, I said that the symbolic meaning of God's throne being upon water is the governance of the world based on a type of knowledge. The footstool, kursi, is another symbol referring to a level of knowledge lower than the throne. The tablets and books are another expression of these levels of divine knowledge. All these concepts indicate levels of God's knowledge and should not be considered separate beings. The levels of God's knowledge being with the unseen ghaib or treasures, khazā'in, then the mother of the book, Umm al Kitāb, and within the clear book, Kitāb Mubīn, revealed scriptures are a descent of the clear book. The book of a community or an individual is a copy of the clear book. I will continue this discussion in the next video. Thank you for being here.